Gosh, and we're back. Ta-da.
That's fast.
Yeah, I know. And through the magic of my video camera, your hair's washed.
Yeah, man.
No, sure, skin's been a wreck, so she hasn't come, but she wasn't feeling so hot today. And Shane was complaining about it all, and I told him, I said, well, I don't know, you guys, stress, trauma, take a vitamin, exercise, go get your back cracked. You know, get your neck adjusted, you don't even have to go have the rest of it done.
Yeah, brother.
No, sometimes lotions, low alcohol lotions, but vitamin. They over at Natural Pantry, they actually make a whole vitamin E lotion, skincare line, and all that.
Yeah.
And if you guys are getting in and out of the pool like that,
Yeah.
because they have the chlorine amped up so bad in the public pools. If you think about what's in there,
Oh yeah.
you know, it was great debate with you. You know, because that's pretty much what's going on there.
It's pretty gnarly, the whole thought of what's in there. That's why I don't think about it.
Yeah. No, it's not your professional
But, yeah.
doctor's opinion. Yeah.
Well, you know what else
Just
is
get in the
gnarly?
pool. Don't think about it.
Yeah, you said it. Well, you know what else is gnarly? It's chlorine.
Chlorine's just nasty.
bad. And that's what makes me feel safe. It's so toxic, I couldn't even live in there.
What's crazy about chlorine is if you study what it actually does to a cell wall or to organic material, it actually just burns it, crumbles it to pieces.
Yeah.
So that's why they put it in there. So many parts per million apparently is okay to boil a human being in,
Right.
but not any, you know, pathogens. They can't handle it.
Right. Yeah, it's got that
But
free ion that soaks up an electron, destroys things.
Exactly. And what is it doing to your first layer of skin, your eyeballs, your sinuses, everything?
Yeah. And think about this too. When you're in the shower and you got that city water coming down, you got H2O and chlorine.
Right.
And if any of that breaks up its molecular structure, you're going to have hydrogen ions and chlorine ions in the steam.
Kaboom! Yeah.
That's HCl, man. That's acid.
Right. Exactly.
That's bad news.
People
But,
don't
no.
understand that.
That's why I put a lot of faith in the integrity of the water bonds and H2O.
I look at it this way. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Neat. Yeah.
My
well.
official opinion.
Yeah. Yes. Well, when people will they'll say stuff to me and they'll bitch about skin problems or whatever, because I'm also an esthetician. That I'll be like,
Oh, are you?
yeah. They'll be like, what do you do? And I just laugh, and I'm like, well, number one, you need to go and get. Speak of the devil.
Is it an esthetician?
No, it's Heather. Yeah. Whatever. I'll call her back. What happens though is you trash on your skin. I'll be like, well, unless you want to wash your face with distilled water or pH balanced water.
Yeah, they make that. Now, there's a Kangen water machine. Have you heard of that?
Yep.
Yeah, Mark's got one. You can fill up a 6-gallon jug. I want to try it out. I've never attempted it. It makes sense, but I just never. Those machines are like $3,000 or $5,000. They're real expensive.
Exactly. Or you can go over and buy it by the jug at Natural Pantry. They have the whole filtration system there, and they let you refill it. And I think it's like $4 or $5 a jug.
Oh, no kidding.
That's it for the big 2-gallon or jug.
Yeah. Have you ever done it before?
Have I ever used that water before?
Yeah.
No. I have somebody who has. One of my past colleagues, she cured herself of breast cancer.
That's amazing.
And she turned into a very, very strong advocate for all of it, and she kept notebooks. And she has all of this documented. She documented everything she's done. Kept journals of it all.
Yeah.
And the water was number one, because you're taking it in all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I like neutralizing or checking the acidity of stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's intense.
So what's been the latest and greatest in your quest for health knowledge?
Health knowledge, latest and greatest.
Yeah,
I've been
man.
cooking for myself, Jesse, and forcing my family to eat it, and they don't want to. They went to Costco and bought corn dogs.
That's a slap in the face. Huh?
Yeah. Well, they can only eat so many beans and peas and brown rice and whole bread and.
How's your spelt and organic peanut butter sandwich, Dad?
Yeah. Yum. Eat up. No, I make them have like almond butter. Actually, you can have.
That's awesome.
Adams is really good because it's only peanuts and salt.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna, salt's not good for you all the time. But I'm just saying, like if you're gonna have something that's have hydrogenated this and that and for their ingredients
That's
and
crap.
it's all gross. I just do it a day at a time. It's become habit now.
Yeah, really.
I hardly eat any kinds of red meat whatsoever. I don't, like I've had a little bit. Client, she shared dinner with me the other night and we had a small pizza and there was some pepperoni on it. And I had my whole 2 slices of that. And that kind of stuff. I just really pay attention to what I'm eating.
Yeah, man.
Lots of vegetables, which is disgusting. Lots of juices. It's become, that all has become habit. No way around any of that.
So
Heather cracks up at me because they'll make all this food. Not that I didn't eat a corn dog. I ate one, by God. It's the best damn corn dog ever. When you haven't had any in a year.
They are so good.
Yeah. Yummy, yum, yum, yeah. But you can eat vegetables and stuff with it. You don't have to eat just a corn dog.
Yeah.
No, but that's the kind of, I don't know, making all those little changes like that. Not like kicking your butt changes, but just changes.
Right.
And ingredients. I've turned into an ingredients whore.
Yeah, good.
I won't, there's just certain things I just will not eat. And they're like, oh, this is good. And I'm like, right, because it's all MSG.
Yeah.
Your taste buds have no choice but to send the it's good factor to your brain.
Right,
That's what MSG does.
Yeah.
It just forces them to say yum. That's it. It could be the worst. You could put it in dog crap. Roll it all around in MSG and it'd be the best thing you've ever eaten in your life. Because that's how that chemical works.
Yeah, it's also neurotoxin.
Well, people don't realize that. Yeah, people don't realize that. No, neurotoxin. I have a friend of mine, Kim. She is so allergic to it. She has the worst headaches.
My wife's allergic to it as well.
Worst headaches.
And it's disguised as natural flavors on a lot of the ingredients lists.
Yeah, natural flavoring. Anything with flavoring doesn't work for me. Like I just start reading the back natural flavor. I can usually more auditing myself. Like if you eat something, a friend of mine used to tell me, how do you feel after you eat that? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, do you feel happy, mad, bad, slat? Do you feel angry? Do you feel nauseous? Is there physical, pay attention to how you feel after you eat certain foods. And it's really funny that
that's a good point.
if you kind of audit what you're eating, how do you feel after you eat that? You probably feel better after eating an apple.
Right.
You kind of feel better because it's kind of living versus
Yeah.
eating something else.
Yeah, I think that all relates to chemicals. It goes right back to your neurochemistry.
Right. Which makes me laugh because more people are worried about whether or not I get their hair the right level other than, the actual chemical makeup of what's producing their hair.
Yeah, you said it, man.
We were talking about that, hair geeks. I'm like, no, why won't my hair grow? What are you eating? Well, I'm like, body doesn't have it, can't make it. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, and hormones too.
Hormones are key.
Yeah.
That's huge. Like when you're working with females, hormones are amazing. When you're working with men, in their 40s and later, hormone, low testosterone or all the different, it all affects your hair.
Have you ever noticed the type of hair that pretty intense long distance runners will have? Just like thin and stringy.
Right, but what are they eating? What is their body doing?
Oh yeah, it's breaking down everything, their muscle mass and all their fat.
Right. Because why? They're totally pushing their system to digest, and it's utilizing every aspect of everything that's going through the system in order to get you to the end of the marathon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and keep you respirating and your brain functioning and your heart running and.
Yeah. It's been people I know who are real talented runners have really gnarly hair.
Well, and then skin, teeth, and bones.
I can use it as a technical descriptor.
Exactly.
Gnarly.
Is that your professional bedside opinion there? Show me in the journal where it says...
Gnarly?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I always tell people, and my professional term is, ew, your hair's gross.
Kids are going ice skating today.
Nice.
Phoenix in school?
He's in school today.
Yeah.
He's had, they call them personal power days. He's had like 8 of them in a row. So he's doing pretty good. He's still having a hard time calling out. yelling out in class a little bit. That's kind of...
Yeah. What is the deal? Like he doesn't raise his hand? Is that the problem? Or?
Yeah, but my son just doesn't fit into the mold of, this is how you're supposed to behave as a human being who's 7 years old. Who voted for that? I didn't.
Seriously.
You know, like I have the biggest problem with all of it.
I do too. That's why we do homeschool, you know.
Exactly. I've been campaigning for that. I'm like, whatever. I just don't, you know, Heather's like, well, and I'm like, teach him how to behave as part of the hive and put him in the institution and he'll be fine. Looks like a jail anyway. But he's learning that my point of view is that society will correct things for you regardless of what the deficiencies are because people will just ignore you or you won't make any money. Heather's point of view is right, that's true, but if there's a skill level that he can actually be taught and learn that will help him circumvent some of the pain of going through that, then we're good. So I said, well, there's got to be a balance. And if I see things in the program that I don't appreciate, I just speak up. But his self-esteem is roaring to the surface because he's being appreciated for the person that he is in this class. It's a small class with people that are trained. And at the same time, he's getting his schoolwork done. So instead of constantly being in the bigger class in a regular, normal school environment where he's constantly getting, hey, sit, no self-esteem. Right? So it's like on a school to him, you know, don't want to go, don't want to this. And this, he's kind of like, this is cool. You know, having fun, he's learning more. I mean, not that he's the kid. The problem with him, his reading scores are in the 98th percentile. And everybody else's are between the 31st and the 40-something. So he's bored. Absolutely bored. The other thing I love is...
I believe it, man. It was the same problem. That was another issue we had with Jonas. He's, you know, he's of the same mold.
Yeah, well, that's why the kids get along so well. Besides that, I made Heather read this book that my friends made me read years ago, and it's called The Care and Feeding of Indigo Children. And I would highly recommend reading that book if you haven't.
The Care and Feeding of Indigo Children?
Yes.
Okay. Never heard of it.
Exactly. There is indigo children that's referring to their aura or the colors, and it refers to the generation of kids that are coming in a vibration and they are being labeled as ADD. But it's just the whole way their soul is, the way their mind is, the way they vibrate, the education, the time in the universe. And these kids have work to do teaching our current society how not to be so, you know, pigeonholed, cut, dry, corporate, whatever it's going to be, because they don't think that way. They don't have the capacity to think that way. And then how you have this government, corporate, societal mindset that's like, you have to behave like this, you have to dress like that, these are the expectations. And then how to deal with children like that. Some of them are totally ADD, some of them aren't, but if you actually learn how to communicate with them very well, you'd be surprised how engaging it becomes with the kids. I read the whole book twice, front to back.
Right on, man.
And Heather's finally reading it.
Give you some good insight on how your little man works.
Right. And it all varying degrees, even at that age, the brain physiology doesn't have the ability to focus for a certain amount of time because it's a tiny little brain still growing and developing.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have an attention span of 45 minutes on one particular task. They're ADD by nature.
Right. Yeah.
In the story. There's nothing you do about it. But you get these traditional believers and they're all, oh my God, you have the worst kid in the whole class because he won't focus. I'm like, ooh. So we go into this meeting to get him into this program, right? And so Heather goes, and they're asking, so the teacher leaves, we've got the gal who's in charge of the program, her name's like Susie or something like that, and Susan, Sharon, I don't know who the hell, don't care. And she's all interviewing us and asking all these questions, and I had all the personality insight because of all my psychological, fabulous experience working with human beings. And Heather has insight about being a mom and her baby, and we're just chatting away, and then she goes, Heather, she said something, so are you guys married, divorced, what? And I just started laughing, and Heather goes, no, he's gay and I'm straight, we live together, he's at one end of the house and I'm at the other end of the house. And the lady, she just sits and looks at us and she goes, well, what do you call yourself then? And Heather looked at me and she was watching me because I'm far more colorful than I have been presenting myself as of recent, and I just smiled at her really big. And I said, we call ourselves a family.
Yeah. Good answer. Yeah.
Fuck you. I mean, call ourselves a family. And then her next breath, I am not exaggerating, her next breath was, so do you guys like see other people? And I looked at Heather, and Heather looked at me, and she's like, I said, I don't understand how that's relevant to what's going on with the kid.
Right. Good call, man. Good
And she looked at me funny, and I said, Heather, sounds like she wants to date you for Friday night, honey. Do you see other people? Make sure she changes the oil on the car and shovels the driveway and gets you back before midnight. I don't like to babysit after that. I want to sleep. You know? What the hell?
Yeah,
you know?
That's not your business, lady.
Well, yeah, but what the hell? I mean, why in the hell was that even part of a conversation at all?
Right.
And that's where my brain starts kicking in, and I start getting angry with the establishment. That's why I have that.
We're trying to fit you into their paradigm, you know.
Well, and I've studied enough psychology, believe me, and had experienced enough of it on my own to realize, and I was going to head her off at the path, but she got smart because she watched I learned this other language.
Yeah.
I don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
My body tone changed, really, you know.
Yeah.
So she, you know, shuts up. But, you know, I know where that leads because some of the things you start paying attention to is the kid reacting because the stability of the family environment, i.e. if there's tons of people flying in and out of, you know, the bedroom in a household, the kids are going to react to that. And it's not uncommon for single parents to have multiple partners, but I still don't see whereas, I mean, I understand from a psychological standpoint how that can be affecting the kid, but in the topic that we were on about education, it's minimal in that. And that person needs to be really careful when they start tiptoeing around those areas of somebody's personal life. Yeah. I mean, I understand what she was maybe kind of going towards, but she wasn't very tactful. I've given lectures over at the university on diversity because a couple of colleagues of mine teach over there, and they train people to be, what are they called? Social workers? Case workers and stuff like that. Work for the state, work for family services and whatever. And during teaching them diversity, family diversity, so one friend of mine, Sarah, she called me up and said, you know, we're doing for this continuing education in the summer, and for Pride Week, my class is doing diversity all week long. I want to know if you'll come talk about your family. I said, I would gladly come talk about my family. And so that was one thing. I looked at the little gal and I said, you need diversity training. And she looked at me and smiled.
This is the one that we were talking to Phoenix? And, okay.
We need, I just pointed at her, you need diversity training. Heather was laughing at me. She gets in the car, she goes, why was she asking? Who is she hitting on? And I'm like, we've still got it even though we're old and fat. God, now if Jesse could just keep us moving so we can boogie down on Friday night instead of taking a nap at 10 a.m. What'd you guys do? We got up and passed out. We're too tired. Yeah, we used to be hot and sexy. Now I'm just so excited I can touch my knees, let alone my toes. You know. My neck, Doc, my neck. I threw it out. You know. Crazy.
That's pretty funny.
Well, it's pretty. It is. To me, it's just kind of a lifelong crock of shit that, you know, the average folks have all kind of put out there. And if you don't think discrimination exists on other levels, it's totally there every day. It's disgusting.
Right. Yeah, it is.
But here's your kids. Like, this is my kid. You know, so hopefully I'll be dead, you know, and he'll be living longer than I live, and he's got to go out and perpetuate into the world and make decisions and change society and do all of those things. That's their job. You know, it's the next generation. What do you want to teach them? Hey, put your head up your ass and keep it there. You know, or dude, the whole globe is round and there's all kinds of stuff out here, not just one way of thinking. And if somebody's telling you how to think, what do they have to gain from that? Be careful.
Right, man.
How are they profiting from controlling your mindset? Oh, shame on me. Gosh darn. Oh my God, your hair's so cute. Let me just be that way. Don't that. We should be. My teeth need to be whiter.
Yeah, man, I hear you. No, that's a good perspective.
You get deep.
It's a nice little way to boil it down. Someone's telling you how to behave. They
follow the money. Yeah. What do they gain? What are they profiting from?
You said it.
Now, how does that feel?
It's good, man.
Looks better.
Right on. Good.
You got patience this afternoon?
I do, yeah.
Then let's go rinse it off so you don't shed.
Sounds good, bro.